Good evening, friends. This is our fourth session. We are talking about the 7 examples of trusting God in difficult times. And tonight we're going to look at the woman who was healed by Jesus from blood flow. Friends, in Mark 5, we find a scene that is prevalent throughout the Gospels. A large crowd has gathered around Jesus. People from all over the region rushed to him and pressed against him. In that crowd was a woman who had been suffering from chronic bleeding for 12 years. She had visited many doctors and had spent all she had on treatments. But instead of getting better, she just got worse and worse. Because of the nature of the illness that she had, she was considered unclean according to the Jewish laws and traditions of the time. So she was sick, she was broke, and on top of this, she was an outcast. Yet because of her confident faith in Jesus, she was able to ignore the pain for a moment and ultimately take the risk that changed everything. Let's read this account together in Mark chapter 5, verse 27 to 34. Let's start from verse 27. When she heard about Jesus, she came up behind him in the crowd and touched his cloak, because she thought, if I just touch his clothes, one of the translations says, the hem of his garment, I will be healed. Immediately her bleeding stopped, and she felt in her body that she was freed from her suffering. At once, Jesus realized that power had gone out from him. He turned around in the crowd and asked, who touched my clothes? Verse 31, you see the people crowding against you, his disciples answered, and yet you ask, who touched me? But Jesus kept looking around to see who had done it. Then the woman, knowing what had happened to her, came and fell at his feet, and trembling with fear told him the whole truth. And he said to her, daughter, your faith has healed you. Go in peace and be freed from your suffering. Friends, trying something new may be the last thing on your mind, especially when you have a chronic health challenge or you are in the midst of some long-standing trouble. You may be feeling that nothing is working out the way that it should. Or maybe you just feel really ready to call it quits and to give up. Although this woman in this passage was unnamed, her story of faith is unforgettable, and it inspires us tonight to never give up. She took a bold risk to believe Jesus and his power. She stepped out of the shadows, made her way through the crowd, and took the risk of telling the truth so that she could get closer to Jesus, even if this truth could hurt her. Friends, when it feels like things will never change, there is always more to explore in our relationship with God. We get stuck wanting our own way and so easily miss what God is doing and the doors he is opening for us. God continuously creates opportunities to build closeness in our marriage, in our relationships, and to provide opportunities for us to comfort and encourage those around us. Seeing God move through our struggles creates a healthy soil for faith to grow. But it requires a faithful desperation, just like this woman, on our part, to step into the full plan that he has in store for us. Are you prepared to step out in faith, to push through your situation, to push through the hindrances that is in front of you, to reach out your hand and to touch the hem of his garment tonight? Let me share with you a couple of reflection questions that we can pray about. First of all, does the condition of your health, physically or emotionally and mentally, does it affect your faith? How do you respond when things don't go well? How has your faith been affected by a long-standing difficult situation? You will know what it is. Be honest with yourself. Be honest with God, and also be honest with your friends. And then lastly, what by faith can you do that might feel risky to you, that could end being the solution to your problem? as you ponder these thoughts and pray about them. May God bless you. May you have a wonderful evening.